So Sophie Cunningham is a player for the Indiana Fever right now. Somebody I think is going to be... I have a weird feeling this Indiana Fever team is going to be good. They've got a lot of players, but a lot of good players in that fit what they want and what they need. And you've got Sophie Cunningham, who's basically the enforcer. She is the enforcer, and she did an interview yesterday. It is on YouTube. Where is it? That is not the right thing to click. There we go. It is on YouTube. It is from the on this channel right here from yesterday, and it was some. She said some interesting things throughout it. Like, she was talking about how she was playing with 3 Olympians, so her role was to hit some threes, play defense, and just be tough, which is what her role is going to be in Indiana. But let's take a listen to what she has said about playing with Caitlin Clark. Let's take a listen to this clip right here.
Saw a little clip of you at WNBA. You know where I'm going. WNBA All-Star Game. Oh, this is a good clip, okay? So I was like, where is she going with this?
Was she was definitely scared that one of her many fight clips was going to be brought up there. She definitely was thinking, oh, you saw me fighting someone, didn't you?
Another Indiana Fever player, soon to be teammate, Caitlin Clark. Have you heard of her? You happened to have a little interaction with her, and it was said that you were potentially asking her to come to Phoenix.
I totally was.
And maybe the joke was on us, because maybe she was asking you to come to the Fever.
No, maybe I just put an atmosphere and it happened. But how funny is that? Like, I never really even saw myself leaving Phoenix.
And that's the thing, when I actually thought that, I think that she okayed the trade. Like, with the amount of work that Sophie Cunningham does, for the Phoenix Suns, I thought it was really unlikely, especially because Sophie Cunningham signed a team-friendly contract. Like, Sophie Cunningham literally signed a contract that was, she's not worth 200K, but a team might have been desperate enough to pay her 200K. But what she was worth was about 175K-ish. And she signed for just over half the amount of money she could have signed for. The reason the Suns sorted her out with a lot of money outside of basketball. So I was shocked. She definitely okayed the trade.
It's my new home away from home. I have a great off-court situation. I've built a lot of fun relationships out there. And yeah, I was like, hey, what do we need? No, come on, how do you get out of here? But it's funny now that, I told the people upstairs, I was like, I will be her Sabrina Carpenter any day to her Taylor Swift. I am so excited for this. And I just think, honestly, she's just a great human too. She has a lot of pressure and a lot of eyes on her shoulders, and she handles it so gracefully, and she's just a great human. So I'm just excited to be a part of something like that. And she passes the ball, which I enjoy.
So, yeah, honestly, when it comes to Sophie Cunningham, she's someone that was recruiting Caitlin Clark to Phoenix. That's one of the big things, is that obviously she was trying to get Caitlin Clark. She was someone who actively wanted to play with Caitlin. And, if you haven't seen, my channel, if you look at some of the more viewed videos, one of the most viewed videos, rival team try recruiting Caitlin Clark at All-Star Weekend, with Sophie Cunningham. There's probably another couple of ones here, Sophie Cunningham type videos about her continuing to try to recruit. Actually, throughout the whole of All-Star Weekend, there's definitely, is there? No, I thought there was more Sophie Cunningham videos in here. There's one. Rival teams trying to recruit Caitlin Clark, and this is why. Obviously, there's another few videos. And funnily enough, in the 5 free agents the Fever need to sign before she signed the extension 7 months ago, I had Sophie Cunningham in there. And it's funny, a lot of people were really pushing for Julie Van Loo as well, and obviously they were going for Satu. And by the way, I made this video before Satu had even come back from injury. Satu was still injured, and people didn't know who Satu was when I made that video. But yeah, it is funny that Sophie Cunningham was one of those players. And yeah, so it is a good thing. And hearing Sophie Cunningham talk about it, her talking about being Sabrina Carpenter to Taylor Swift, I don't know the relationship between Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift. I have no idea. I don't get that. And this is somebody who's been to a Taylor Swift concert. I have absolutely no idea what's going on with that. But whatever that means, hopefully it is the case. But the Indiana Fever, I think, are going to be a serious team. Like, Sophie Cunningham is the best. She probably is going to be the best bench player in the WNBA. Just depending on where Marina Mabry goes. Like, if Tiffany Hayes was still a bench player, sure, but she's going to be a number one option in Golden State. I'm trying to think of other players that could be. Maybe if Cheyenne Parker-Tyus ends up coming off the bench, if they start Kia Stokes, she could be there or thereabouts. But right now, I would be an early prediction of Sophie Cunningham for 6th Player of the Year. Because, or, I doubt it, maybe Duana Bonner wants to come off the bench. Maybe she wants to play 20-something minutes a game off the bench and she starts. But I do think, as far as role players, fourth options, complementary pieces, you're not getting much better than Sophie Cunningham. You're just not. She is easily one of the easily one of the top players as far as complementary pieces, and she's one of those type of role players that are just supremely underrated because of a kind of an archetype that's not really been pushed in the WNBA. Like, the WNBA overvalues D and no 3 and 3 and no D players. Like, they will overvalue the Duncan Robinson type players. They will overvalue players based on what they did in college. Katie Lou Samuelson. Like, how many players that are just locked in defenders but can't shoot a lick and are offensive liabilities are there in the W? So many. So when there's a player that is a good defender, not as good a defender as people say, like a Sophie Cunningham, a good defender, more so than anything a versatile defender, like she can guard 1 through 5. None of them at an elite rate, but she can guard them all if needed. She can play 1 through 5. She slots in anywhere. She spreads the floor and she hits the 3 ball. So she's such an effective player, and, like, again, was a big part of those Mercury teams when they were decent. Like, playing the WNBA finals in 2021, was playing a lot of center in 2022. Came off the bench for the first half of last season. Then when she was starting, did pretty well after Beck Allen got hurt. So, like, you're looking at a top tier bench player, and you're looking at one of the more important things, a know your role type player. She's going to do all the little things that are needed to win, and it's good to see her talking positively about Caitlin Clark. And she knows, like, I'm just going to get my open shots and I'm going to hit them. And I think that's the case with all these players. It's like, if you're confident in hitting your own open shots, then if you're a WNBA player, you probably want to go play for the Fever. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.